Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our YouTube channel, and today Gear Raid 4 is upon us. So we decided to make a list of the top 10 best heroes so far to get you as far as you can in Gear Raid 4. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're gonna start with a bit of an exception here because I've grouped all the anti-healing damage dealers into one group. Now we're gonna start out with Lasir. Out of the 4 anti-healing heroes that we're gonna show in this video, I would say that he's the least useful. The main thing is that he really does no damage outside of his ult, and that's where you're gonna get his anti-healing from. And it's not very long, but you know, he's probably one of the easiest ones to get, so he's at least reliable. Now on to Artemis. Artemis is a really good character. He's probably my favorite out of the anti-healing bunch. The thing is that he's able to solo heal, for me personally at least. So you've got to use his ult though. Pretty much all these guys, you have to use their ults if you want to get the anti-healing off. The thing is that his anti-healing will only happen when he's ulting.
Are you
This guy's gonna come with a bit of a caveat because Borus, as great as he is, it seems that they did some funky stuff with him because he's able to put out a great amount of anti-healing, but only in the first few levels, because once you get to the 4th level, he will not be able to freeze anybody, and if he cannot freeze anybody, he cannot give them anti-healing. So he is literally useless outside of the first 3. Last one is going to be, she's a bit of a mixed bag because she puts out slow, which is the only useful thing that you can give someone. aka you can't give them freeze, you can't give them stun, but you can give them slow. And the slow is very useful, but it's also not very effective at the same time because it's about half of effectiveness in the later rounds. Now Demi, on her ult, just like all the other ones, she gives out a very healthy amount of anti-healing, and it lasts for a good amount. So other than her range being a bit of a mess, she's actually very useful overall, but it's gonna be very hard to get her.
So next one up is gonna be Cerberus, who gives AoE magic damage. His ultimate is very important in this situation, especially in the first wave, because when he dies, he leaves a round circle of damage, and if you manage to pop his ultimate, that circle is gonna give way more damage than it would if he died normally. For this specific reason, you might want to use Venoma if you have her, because that way he's gonna get his ultimate 30% faster. Another important character is Valkira, who's a fighter, but specifically she does AoE magic damage. Her range is extremely good, and if you get her A1, it's gonna be even better. And she's very, very useful on the right lane of your map.
But the main reason why I use her is because of her very large sword. Now on to Eloen, because even though we already talked about Artemis, I really want to focus on her because her rage regen is just the best. By far the most important thing in this raid is getting off your ults when you need them, because without it, Comet is really not very useful, Demi is not very useful. There's so many characters that need their ults, and there's no better character other than Eloen. The thing is, the second best character in this regard would be Hollow. Is really useful, but she is not gonna do as much rage regen because of the amount of infrequency in the amount that she can actually heal the other characters. So even though she's very good and she's got a great range, she's not going to be as useful as Eloen. So if you have Eloen, definitely use her. So if you're lucky enough to get him in the last banner, Trust is really going to be great here because he's actually able to block quite a few people. The thing is that even though his ult doesn't increase his block just like a lot of other tanks do, he actually has a passive that if you ult twice, it'll increase his block permanently, which is obviously extremely useful. Also, what makes him still great is that he does magic damage. The more damage you do, the better.
Even though he's very rare, Cyrus might be the best defender for this mode, especially because he outputs AoE magic damage, and in his ultimate he's able to summon 2 fighters who have 1 block each. And if you manage to put Bastion artifact on him, he's gonna be able to block up to 6 people altogether. Vierna is an S tier character once more. She does AoE magic damage, and especially her ultimate, even though she doesn't do anti-healing, she's able to wipe the board clean.
So before we talk about the final character here, the thing is that you have to keep in mind is even if you don't have all these guys or really any of these guys, if you have the gear, you can get through it. Either you have the good characters or you have the good gear, one of the two. Now, we're on to Comet. Comet is by far the best character when it comes to doing damage. He hits like a goddamn truck. The thing to keep in mind though is that even though he doesn't have anti-healing, he's still able to carry most of the damage, at least in our experience. We used him in both our Forerunner account, in which we a little over a month ago, we were able to first do all this testing, and also today on our personal accounts. Now, we hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and as always, please leave a like and subscribe, and have a good day. Bye guys, bye.